Yo guys, and welcome to my review of episodes 1 and 2 of Pokemon Horizons. I can't believe I'm finally saying that. The wait for this show has been so long, and we're finally here. A new chapter and a new series. This show obviously has a lot of build up going for it, right? It's the first show without Ash as the main character, and we also have two main characters at the same time. You could argue we had that with Ash and Go, but I think we still all kind of saw Go as more of a companion. Um, Again, this show had a lot on its shoulders. It had a lot to live up to, and I think in these first two episodes, they did a really good job. I do think it's better to watch these back to back than watch one and then watch the other later. I think you really do have to watch both episodes back to back to kind of get a proper feel for this. But let's get started. So these first two episodes focus more on Liko, and I think the third one will as well. Roy will debut in episode 4 from what we've seen with the previews and stuff. And we're presented to her as, she's a very shy person who's just starting school. She's very nervous, the complete opposite of Anne, the person that she's living in the dorm with. And I mean, she's very introverted, right? Which the reason why I like that is it shows a lot of room for growth, which is something that you like to see, right? And hopefully that they don't, reset it like they constantly did with Tash, right? Where he grows, he becomes a great battler, and then next season we completely restart and it almost feels like he's learning again. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully she becomes more confident in both herself and her battling. And one thing I liked is each student in the school gets presented with a Pokemon that presents themselves, right? That a Pokemon that has a similar personality to them, which I really like, right? Anne got an Oshawott, which is just as energetic as her, while Liko got the Sprigatito, who also seems a little bit more shut in, right? She isn't too quick to talk to Liko and I guess, go a bond with her right away, which makes sense, right? And I like that aspect. But yeah, the first episode focuses a lot on building Liko as a character, and then we start getting into the real plot towards the end of the episode, where we meet Ametio. I think that's how, I'm not really it's spelled weird and pronounced weird. We're just gonna go with that pronunciation. From the Explorers, who uses Cerulege, which I was very excited to see him. And so far he's definitely a villain of the show. I do expect him to become almost like a rival later on, right? I feel like there's probably someone who's higher up in the Explorers than him, right? Someone who's a little bit above, but so far, I mean, he fills the villain role pretty well. And we find out that the Explorers are after Liko's pendant, which has a new Pokemon quotations. It looks very similar to the one that we got introduced to in the latest Pokemon Direct or Pokemon Presents, right, for the new DLC, but almost like either a pre-evolved form or kind of like Zygarde, a 1% form, if you would call it. Then we meet Freed, the leader of the Rising Voltackers. One fun bit of trivia about him for those who watch my other videos and watch Sevens and Go Rush in general. His voice actor is the same voice actor as for Luke and the Lug, which now that you know that, you literally can't unhear it. When I found that out, I only hear Luke in him now, but kind of a cool bit of trivia there. And I like him a lot. I like how, he's almost kind of feels like that nostalgia character, right? He uses Charizard, he uses Pikachu, which obviously are Ash's first two aces, which is really cool. Will he have more nostalgia Pokemon, or will he get other stuff later on? Who knows? His Pikachu seems really good. Is it as good as Ash's Pikachu? Probably not, but it does seem very strong. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. So Freed starts to battle Amadio, and then after the pendant reacts and protects Liko, he swoops in and goes and takes her to, I guess, the Rising Voltackers base, which is this huge airship blimp thing, which looks really cool. We meet all the other characters there and their Pokemon. We see the Fuecoco and Quaxly, which are going to probably end up being Roy's aces, which is really cool. But Amadio and the other explorers catch up to the ship, and we get another battle between Freed and Amadio. Great animation so far. I mean, I think the battle animation looks really, really good and really cool. And that Sprigatito that Liko has is very powerful, and it makes you think, how good is this thing gonna be when it becomes a Meowscarade? Just such power. It almost felt like it was terrestrialized, but I don't think it was. Now, could it have also been a boost from the wind? Maybe, but I doubt this level of power comes from just the wind. But then she gets blown away, and Amadio catches Sprigatito and just leaves, and that's where the episode cuts off. A great setup. In some ways, right? Both the episodes flew by, and it almost felt like a lot happened and nothing happened at the same time, right? Like, in a quick summary, you could say, oh, Liko is in school, she gets attacked by the explorers, she gets saved by Freed, and then Sprigatito gets kidnapped, right? Like that. It feels like a lot, but at the same time it isn't, which is really interesting. But yeah, great start for a new series. Obviously, we still have a lot more to grow. We still have to get used to all of these new characters and this new world. We still don't know the full connection, whether this is the same world that Ash is in, or if we're just tackling a completely different universe, right, where we won't see Ash. I was gonna say we won't see any of the other characters that Ash met, but they could just have like a Brock and a Misty, but they don't know about Ash, right? They're completely different characters. That's something I'm very interested to find out still, and a bit more about the pendant and the story moving forward. I think they set up the plot very well, and I'm excited to see how Roy and this weird Pokeball that he has also fit in. But yeah, tell me guys, what did you think of this first two episodes? Did you like them? Are you still kind of seeing things out, right? Whether you're fully committed to watching the show or not? Can you get used to it, not having Ash? and I guess I'll see you all in next week's review.